Therapy is bad for you. That's my opinion. What do you have to say to that? What's up, everyone? My name is Lydia Tesema, and this is Shootersshoot first ever 1 minute podcast. Today, I'm situated in Melbourne City to talk to people about how they feel about therapy for Shootersshoot Counsel Culture campaign. Let's go. Nice to meet you, man. I'm good. Therapy is bad for you. That's my opinion. What do you have to say to that?
I know someone really close to me, which she's doing therapy, and we're from London, right? I'm Italian, but I lived in London for a long time.
Okay.
And when we moved over here in Melbourne, she's enjoyed the therapy and she's feel more happy because it's not her comfort zone. It's not someone that she know that you might be scared because you're scared about the judgment of the people. But in this case, obviously, she doesn't know him. Okay. So I see like in a cool way, actually.
People don't want to talk to people that know them, right?
Definitely, yeah. Definitely. For example, like you, I know you from 30 seconds already, or maybe 1 minute, but I will be happy to talk to you because I'm going to go around the corner, I'm not going to see you anymore. But not because it's bad, because maybe I say, oh, I feel more free now. I got something a stone, an imagination stone on me, and now I'm free.
I feel you. Thanks, Manny. Okay. Take care of yourself, right?
Therapy is bad. No, I disagree because therapy can be beneficial in many aspects, whether it's mentally, physically, or spiritually. Mm-hmm. It enables you to look at yourself in many different ways. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you. And then do you have any messages, like a message for the world?
Peace and healing the planet. Yeah.
What's your name?
Bevan.
What are your instinctual or initial thoughts about therapy?
I think the approach to therapy should be that you should always try to find the solutions yourself and ask yourself the right questions and then go for therapy. Because I think that a lot of people misuse the word therapy part where they go for therapy, they meet a bad therapist, or they're not even looking for help. They're actually just looking to confirm their bad beliefs or bad habits or whatever. That's a reality that I've kind of realized talking to people here and there. So I could be wrong, and the reason why I say I'm not too educated on the therapy is because I don't really go to it myself. So maybe if I went through it, there might be an eye-opening experience that I was ignorant about, but that's just me.
Do you have a message for the world?
Do I have a message for the world? I'd say always believe in yourself because no one in the world is going to care as much about your problem or know how to solve it as best as you. So treat yourself well and eventually your problems will get away.
Raises a lot of questions.
It does, doesn't it? Talk to me. Is therapy bad for you?
There's good and the bad, yeah? If you apply yourself and you're actually taking in what's being said to you, but you're actually then reflecting, reevaluating, and learning through your own experiences, then therapy is amazing for you. But if you're then just taking what some jackass on the other side of the table has said to you and saying, okay, that explains the fact that I'm such an asshole to the people around me. I have ADHD, or I have bipolar disorder, or I have a borderline personality disorder. This is why I'm like this. And that makes it easier for me to live with myself or easier for me to sleep at night. Then that's quite lazy.
Woo! We want to know what you think.
Yeah, it comes to how you approach it, I guess, as well. But I think it would be definitely really helpful for people that are unable to physically unable to get out of bed and they need that extra help. But I think it's good for people to think about themselves, because at the beginning, when you do therapy, it's all about what you think and how you feel. And if you have a bad therapist that tells you how you need to feel, it can warp your perception, I think.
That's true. Therapy is potentially really dangerous if you end up in the wrong hands or with Thank you for sharing that. And it's true that therapy is currently quite expensive and inaccessible. So thank you for raising that.
I mean, I guess I have to disagree a little bit. I think mostly therapy seems to be a positive thing. I think it's always good for people who are inside their own heads and a little bit confused by what they're feeling to have an outside perspective, because I often feel like there's a lot of positive thoughts people can bring when they share their opinion with you. And if someone's a considerate person, they're a compassionate person, and they've trained for a long time to do something like become a psychiatrist or psychologist, often they're going to really care passionately and care deeply about their job, and they are going to really want to help people, and I think they often do make a really positive impact. And I agree, it costs a lot, but I think that's the sort of thing where you can have government step in and subsidise those sort of things. I mean, it is already somewhat subsidised, but whether more could be done in that space. So,
do you have a message for the world?
I mean, I guess be kind as well. Have a good day and be kind. I think that's a nice summation of everything. So.
Have a good day, people.
Buy a little treat,
Get for yourself.
Treat. Yeah, get a little treat, a little drink. Yeah.
I was really hoping that someone could convince me that it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
All right. I think it is, but my wife is a therapist. Okay, so she's also a GP, and she does this now. That's what she does. She stepped away from the clinical work and only doing counselling. And the reason that she's done that is because as a GP, she would find many people coming to her and they would say, I've got a skin rash, I'm not sleeping, I've got stomach problems. And she'd say, I can give you a pill for that. There are pills for those. But maybe there's something deeper going on in your life, and would you like to talk about that? And typically people would start talking. And her approach would be, I don't come to you with solutions. I need to find out what's going on with you, and then we can talk about possible ways forward.
I think all they do really is they just trigger memories and negative thoughts and feelings that have been suppressed within you, and they bring that back up again.
There's always a need to have those hard conversations. That's what I believe. You might be pushed to the boundary to have those hard things coming when they come your way. You might not be feeling very comfortable at times how to react to it. But then afterwards you kind of feel like a bit light-hearted as well, right? I mean, if you get that off your chest, then you feel like,
If you had to share a message with the world, what would it be?
Take it easy. God has been kind. You've been living through it. Be kind on others. Be humble, and enjoy while you can.
Amen to that. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate your time.
We are aware of things, but at some point we are not 100% strong to be able to go through the difficulties by ourselves. So in that regard, sometimes to be able to get a different pair of eyes is good.
I just feel like the answers are within us, and why should we go to someone else for perspective?
That's completely correct. We do have the answers. Like, if you are not strong by yourself, mentally and physically, nobody will be able to help you. Or if you are not willing to. That's the important point, yes. But at some point, sometimes we don't feel strong enough. And because we are social human beings, we are social beings, sometimes we do need a small touch. Like, it doesn't have to be too much. Like, go.
What was your message for the world? Do you have a message for the world?
Live a peaceful life, loving life, and always care for the people around you who cares for you.
It's more about getting an outside perspective. When you're in your own head, things can feel really tangled. You go down these thought spirals that aren't necessarily helpful. And I mean, I always think it's important to recognize that other people view situations that you're in differently than you do. And I think that's a really helpful thing to get some clarity, some perspective, especially when you're stuck on a situation or you're really stressed about something. And also, suppressing trauma is not a good thing.
You know what? You're right. I know it just feels like the easier thing, but maybe the more miserable thing ultimately. I don't know.
The point of therapy is not for the therapist to impose their view on you. It's about structuring your thoughts and giving you ways to reflect so that you come to the best solution for you on your own.
Yes. Okay. I think I could deal with that. If ultimately you're saying that the answers are within me, and I just need the necessary environment to actually get to that space.
I think it's important to listen to your feelings and to let yourself feel them, even when it feels uncomfortable and when it feels sucky. You have to feel that to work through them and to come out better on the other side. So feel your feelings. That's my message.
Thank you.
Take a punt. If you don't think the therapy is for you, just try something anyway, because often talking about it does help a little. Don't just close yourself off and shut down.
So I think it's up to an individual to go and research and do better and be better. Like, we live in a world of podcasts. We're resourceful. There's books. There's nature. There's medicinal mushrooms. There's psilocybin. There's so much things. It's up to you to go and do it, right? But just going to therapy and then doing nothing outside of that, it's bullshit,
Well, what I can see about you, and you're such a strong woman, is that perspective is what holds you upright, right? And ultimately, I think it's perspective that even leads people to therapy sometimes, because they need a fresh perspective, because they don't have the companionship or maybe the parents that you have. But I definitely hear where you're coming from, fully.
Empathy is so important. And don't mind you, I actually want therapy at the moment, because not for trauma, but to talk about existential things like this, right? And just someone to bounce off that's not my husband or not my friends, you know?
There you go. So you ended up saying therapy might just be good for you.
Therapy can be bad and therapy can be good, right? Perspective and empathy is the way to go. And awesome. Good on you for doing this.
Oh, thank you. I think that was a very balanced response as well. Thank you. It was nice to meet you.
There's no better investment than your health or your mental health. It's always going to cost a little bit of money, probably more than it should, but it's definitely worth trying. It might not work for everybody, but if it does work, then you're in a far better spot than you were when you started. Give it a try. Life's too short. Money comes, money goes. But we only have a certain amount of time on this planet. So if you think it can help you, then try it.
Be kind and spread love. Love it. Nice to meet you.
Cheers.
Take care of yourself, yeah?